Ventline is the show. 36 Hours of Purple is underway with this program. And let's go to the phone lines and let's go to our friend Ben. Ben, what's going on?
Hey, Jed. So the answer to your true question is what I think the Vikings will do is I think they will take a receiver with one of those two picks because that is an immediate need. I think Denzel Mims from Baylor might be a good fit for them. But in terms of what I want them to do, a lot of it depends on how the draft board shakes out. And there's a whole lot of, I don't think this will ever happen, but there's a whole lot of talk about Tua falling. Let me just say this.
Yeah.
If Tua falls to, I don't know, let's say he doesn't even get there. Let's say to the 17th or 18th pick. And Rick Spielman decides, you know what? Let's take a chance. Let's trade up there. Let's get Tua. Let's get our franchise quarterback. And he tells Mike Zimmer that. And then Mike Zimmer objects to a move like that. The Vikings should fire Mike Zimmer with cause.
Immediately?
With cause.
Ben?
Immediately with cause. Because
hold on a second. Wait, Ben, hold on. You can't say that without hearing this.
Reckless speculation.
Ben comes into 36 Hours of Purple and drops an immediate bomb 4 minutes in.
Yeah,
love you, Ben. That's great.
Yeah, no, they should fire him with cause immediately because that's negligence. That is complete negligence. If a top 5 talent is available to you in the 20s as an organization and it's a quarterback position, you have to take that guy. Absolutely.
I wrote it last night, man. If he starts to drop or if he gets to 10 or 11, which is Cleveland and the Jets, Ben, I'm with you totally. I think that if you can listen, Mike and Rick have not been here as long as many of us have watching this franchise, but you can make a very good case that this franchise has not had a franchise QB. Now, they took a shot with Dante, I get that, but they have not had one since Tark retired after 78, right? So yeah, I'm with you, Ben. I'm with you.
Yeah, and there's no risk. There's no risk to it. He doesn't have to play right away.
That's beautiful. I love it.
And Cousins will never play poorly enough to be benched. I just don't see that out of Cousins. He will play good, not great, and then you can. And if he's fully healed, you can trade him. You can trade Cousins. Somebody out there is going to trade Cousins. Cousins. It's not like Cousins has no value on the trade market.
Yeah. Now the dead money on Cousins, if you trade him before June 1st, right now, is massive. It goes down. I think it is $10 million if you trade him before June 1st, 2021, after next season. At which point, but the thing is, if you got a guy like Tua, what you have to keep in mind of is next spring his contract is so cheap that you can absorb the dead money from Cousins if you think you found your quarterback, because you're not yet going to be paying Tua for 3 more years at that point.
Yeah, and I would, if it's just $10 million, I'd eat $10 million for Cousins. I really would.
No, that's what I'm saying.
If Tua's there, the Vikings should take him, and anybody else objects to it will need to be fired off the staff immediately.
Great call, Ben. Thank you.
Speculation.
Declan, you got to love that. 4 minutes in to 36 Hours of Purple. And Ben doesn't come in throwing
No, he doesn't.
88 mile an hour.
No Nick Blackburn there.
90 miles.
This is flame throwing stuff,
It goes
man.
high and tight. Fire with cause. I love callers to this show. I absolutely mean that sincerely. Absolutely. Comes in just high and tight. 651-646-8255. 651-646-8255. What do you think the Vikings will do in the first round tomorrow night? What are your expectations of what they'll do, I should say? What do you want to see them do? 651-646-8255. Larry and Richard will get to your call in 1 second, but let's bring into the conversation my buddy Chip Scoggins. Did you hear that, Chipper? Ben said fire him with cause 4 minutes into the show.
I got in at the end of it. So how is Tua getting to 22?
He's not. We're speculating. Well, I don't think personally there's any way he gets close to that. But we're talking about if he starts to drop and if you could potentially make a trade as well to get up. And let's say he gets to, and to be clear, for the record, I don't think he will. But let's say he gets to 10 or 11 or something like that. And then do you consider trying to go up and get him? Because I do think that this kid is going to be a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I'm guessing if he starts sliding, there'll be a lot of teams that would try to jump in and grab him.
Fire with cause, though, Chipper.
I love it. Fire with cause.
Oh, Fantastic call from Ben. What's going on?
It's draft week, man.
I know.
This is Christmas time for you, right?
You know what? And again, and I did this on Monday, I'd like to thank Roger Goodell and the league for doing this because, and I'm dead serious, it's not, there's nothing about this that's going to be dangerous. It might be a cluster bleep, who knows, which actually, Chipper, makes it more fun. But I would just like to, again, reiterate my thanks to the National Football League for giving me, you, Star Tribune, Score North, everybody content that we have been craving.
Yeah, and there's obviously a lot of rumblings about whether they should push us back and is it bad optics or whatever, but I'm glad they kept it as it is. Yeah, I know it's challenging for teams to try to do this virtually, and it's going to be a little weird, but I'm glad they're doing it. Yeah, it gives us content, and I got to be honest, from the Vikings perspective,
yep,
I've got no idea what they're going to do.
That's what I was going to ask you.
I mean, obviously they've got a bunch of needs, more needs than they've had in a half dozen years, probably.
Yep.
Where you really need to plug there.
Yep.
Are they going to keep Anthony Harris? Are they going to trade for Trent Williams? Are they going to take an offensive tackle? Are they going to go wide receiver? Are they going to go cornerback? So really, I find it fascinating to see, are they going to keep both of those first round picks? It seems like the momentum or the chatter you're hearing is that they're going to take the second one and try to trade back to accumulate more picks.
You okay with that?
Yes, I think so because they have so many needs, Judd. I mean, they have holes right now in this roster that they have to fill, and they're going to have to rely on this young talent, which is listening to Spielman yesterday on his Zoom conference that it's going to be fascinating because they're talking about a virtual offseason. I don't know how you get players ready rookies ready in a virtual offseason. It seems kind of far-fetched, but they're going to do the best they can. But, I mean, Judd, they've had to get quarterbacks. They need a wide receiver. They need a defensive line help. Obviously, I think they need 2 offensive linemen.
Yep.
So I think the more picks you can get in the first 3 rounds, probably that's the way they should go.
651-646-8255. This show is Vetline. That is the voice of Chip Scoggins, Star Tribune sports columnist. It's Zolgad. It's Declan Goff. You set to take some phone calls, Chip Scoggins?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. Let's go to Larry. Hey. Hi, Larry. What's going on?
Mr. Rocky Top, nice of you to join us this morning. There's enough going on in Knoxville right now that you got to worry about. I don't know why you got to worry about what's going on in Egan.
Let me tell you something, sir. Yeah.
All right. If Ben came in with peak Nolan Ryan,
yep,
I'm gonna follow him up with early '90s crafty lefty Charlie Liebrandt.
Okay, Jamie Moyer, go ahead.
But I do agree. This is a perfect time and here's kind of the caveat, if they have identified Tua as somebody that could be their franchise quarterback, they will never be in a better position to go get one because they've got the currency and the extra picks to make the move.
Yep.
Without the immediate urgency to plug him in as a day one starter. And that would give him time to be groomed to take over. It would give whoever the GM is time to address the offensive line. It's a perfect time to make that move.
Hey, Larry. Larry, if I was to tell you that was doable, that Rick could do that, the one thing, though, is that the Wilsh have to give Rick at least a 2, if not 3-year extension because clearly that pick is not going to help the team in 2020. And as far as we know, he's going into the last year of his contract. Are you okay with not the coach necessarily, but the GM being extended based on that?
Yes.
Okay. Then I think it's doable.
100%.
Then I think it is doable. Thanks, Larry. Chip, your thoughts?
Yeah, Judd, it's interesting that he said, whoever the GM is. And doing that would be a long play. And you're talking about a GM that it's on a 1-year deal right now, basically.
Yes.
And so that's the whole conversation they would have to have is that, is this, this jumped out to you too yesterday, Judd, that Spielman kept talking about with the turnover that this roster's having. He said this is just a roster evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an interesting situation when you're talking about a roster evolving with a coach and GM on their last years. And so, yeah, if you made that play, if you said, hey, we're basically going to be redshirting this quarterback, and we're going to use some serious draft capital to go up and get him, I would think that the GM would want assurances beyond this year that, hey, I'm going to be able to see this